All right. There's something which I think we need to learn as well. Uh, sorry, something called my CSS transformations, and I'll show you what it is. So let's go there, and let's go CSS transform. Right. So in CSS you can do 2D transformations or 3D transformations like this. For example. So cool. I don't even know what you're typing. So you can do something like this where you can 2D rotate uh or 3D rotate. It's up to you using properties like rotate X, Y, and Z. So we're going to explore this. Yeah, or even skew. Yeah, so many methods that you can do, even scaling. Uh and then you can do things like I think this was also something a property called transform. So what is all this? Do we need to know this? Maybe, maybe not, but it's a handy skill, especially when you get to make your website down the future. Okay, it's very very handy to know this skill. So, what shall we do? I'll call this one CSS transformations. Okay, and let's just quickly just go transform. It's fine. And then let's put an image. And let's just have a quick look. Okay. So if we run the live server here, there we go. So we have our image. I'm going to open it in incognito so we don't get like caching or anything. So this is our image, okay? So we want to do some very cool effect where if we hover this, it will flip either up and hey. What?
That's it.
Yes, yes. That's Mr. Cape Town himself.
He was in Cape Town.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
so we go margin 0 as usual to get rid of these white lines. Okay. And we also remove padding. All right. Oh.
Wow, mani muri kumadzura kuwapija.
Andizi. Aya, unongotaipa zita renyu paGoogle inobuda. Ukangoda iso inobuda Raymond. Taipa mongoti images. Zvatopera.
Nga Google hainokwayo nayo yedu.
So ndaitora ipapo. So let's do it this way. So then let's center the image. I want the image to be like in the center here, but not too big, not too small. Okay. So let's put this down. And I think Audrey will like this one. So let's go dot transform. Okay. Then let's go display grid. Okay. So if you go back to one of the old lessons where we did display flex, display grid, you remember we did this on layouts. Okay. And then I'll go place items and then center. Okay. All right, that's going to center the image like this. All right. But we don't want the image to be too big. So we just go dot transform image. Okay. And let's go display block on an image. All right. And let's go width. Yes, Kuba, what's wrong?
I just almost sneezed, so I was like,
Ah, okay. With height 200 pixels. Okay. So there we go. The image is, that small. Audrey is responding now. Nice. So, let's make the height. Let's say minimum height of this is 100 VH, meaning it's the minimum of this screen. Okay. All right, so I'll just do a quick adjustment. I'll go object fit, cover, and then object position, center. Okay, so the image is not too stressed. It's perfect. Right. So we've done the bulk of everything. Kupal, we've done the bulk of everything. Now we're going to do the fun part. Okay. I'll show you. The fun part. All right. So what if we want the bottom of the picture to flip upwards? How do we do that? Let's see. Let's just have a quick play and see. So, Queen, do you still remember the hovering effect?
I think I do.
You think you do? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to say if we hover, we want it to do something, right? So let's say, because remember we're using CSS transformation. So what we'll do is, if we hover, we wanted to invoke the transform property. So today I'm introducing you guys to a new property called transform. There's also something called transition. I'll show you how to use that. It kind of goes hand in hand. So transition is kind of going from point A to point B, but it makes the animation smooth. Okay, you'll see. So let's start with transformation. Okay, now so many of them. How many do you need? To be honest with you, if you ever get a job, the most you'll ever use is scaling. Okay, scaling, rotate, and rotate 3D. That's it. You don't need much, but we'll go one by one so you can see what's what. So let's go scale. Okay, and let's put 1. Okay, so scale, it just means it's the same size. It's 1. Okay. Actually, sorry. Let me put this up here. There we go. Right. So what if we change scale to 2? You see? The image grows. See that? Or you can actually go in decimal numbers. You can go 1.2 if you want, or 1.3, 1.4, or 1.5. If you go to like 3, it's going to be way too big. Okay. Or even if you go 5, it's going to go whoop, really big, right? But let's, for the sake of this tutorial, let's go 1.5. We want the image to grow 1.5 times when we hover. So on our code here, it's saying the original is scale 1. When we hover, as in if the mouse moves over the image, let's make it 1.5. Let's see what that looks like. Oh. See? It's doing that, I don't know if that's showing clearly on your screen, but yeah, if you hover over the image, this is what's happening. Now, to make this process a lot more seamless, we apply the transition, okay? We will apply a transition property here. So transition, okay? Transition, that's the name. So you give it how many seconds you want this to run. Normally, I'd say go between half a second. So if 1 second is 1 second, just go 0.5 seconds. Okay, that's half of a second. If you want to deal with milliseconds, because 1 second is 1,000 milliseconds. Okay, so 1 second is equal to 1,000 milliseconds. Okay, because like 100 milliseconds, 200 milliseconds, 300. You can do that. So you can actually do it. You can actually do it in seconds or 500 milliseconds. It's up to you. It's either you can stick to seconds, 0.5, or you can stick to 500 milliseconds. Personally, I would say stick to seconds. You don't want to convert too much like seconds, minutes, and everything. Just stick to seconds, 0.5. And then you want to do something called ease. Okay. There's heaps of them like linear and cubic Bezier. Don't worry for now. Just do ease. Okay. And watch. You see? It's a lot more smoother now when you do this. So let me turn off transition and watch how quickly it's, changing size. But if I turn back on transition, see how smooth it is? There you go. Do you like this one, Kuba? So
Yeah.
let's copy. Oh, we're just getting started. See, I want to show Leon something really cool as well. We're just getting started, okay? So,
Okay.
so this one is for Seth because I know Seth likes things to be rotating and whatnot. Okay, so just an FYI, you can do these separately if you want. So we did scale before, and now we're gonna do rotate. I'll show you how to combine them in the end. All right. So I'll just quickly comment this out for now, and let's go to the next one. Okay. So let's go transform again, and let's use rotate. All right. So this is what rotate does. It just rotates it, but we're going to do 3D. So I'll show you what that is. I don't think you guys have done 3D maths yet, but I'm hoping there's an explanation here somewhere that can okay, CSS X, Y, Z axis. Right. This. I don't know if you guys have seen something like this before. Has anyone seen this or not really? I'm happy to explain.
Not really.
Not
We've
really.
seen it.
Okay. So this is okay. So naturally on a screen, you're used to seeing things in 2D, like they're flat. I'll give you a very perfect example. Your Visual Studio is flat. It's 2D. You can only see the top, or you can only see the side. You can't see the back of your Visual Studio. Okay. So it is 2D. This is 2D because we cannot see the back of this picture. Okay. So it's naturally 2D, right? But sometimes we want things to go in front or back. We want things to like move towards us or behind something. Okay. this is when we introduce the Z axis. I'll have to do like a document for you where I break this down easily. Like I have to take pictures and stuff to explain this, but normally your guys are used to like an XY axis, okay? So it's like XY axis. So good, but if you ever get to do maths at school, you'll be used to something like this, okay? Where it's flat, you're going X from 0 to 6 down here, or you're going
Mm-hmm.
Y 0 to 6 up here on the side, okay?
Yeah.
You see? But then when you come to 3D, you introduce another axis where you're going front and back. But in normal maths, it's flipped. This is the confusing thing. So in normal maths, it's usually like X, Y, Z going up and down. But in computers, in computers, just bear with me for a second. In computers, Y is the one on the top, Z is front and back, and then X is left and right. Okay. It will make sense once we play with a few things, but let's just do some cool stuff here. So let's go transform. Okay. Now I can just jump straight to rotate 3D, but I don't want to do that. I want to go step by step so you guys can make sense of this. All right. So let's start with X. Remember, X is left to right. Okay, as in we're going from this side here, from the left to the right. Okay, because Y starts from here, the top, going down, and then Z is in front of us or behind Brother Philip. Okay. So, it doesn't look that good right now because we're missing a very crucial setting, and I'll show you what it is. So we have this div tag which holds our image. Okay. There's something called perspective. 3D perspective. I hope I'm not confusing you today, but does anyone have a question?
No.
No? Okay. So I'm trying to teach you something called a perspective. So the reason you see things the way they are is because of your perspective, okay? Like how can you see behind your hand? Like if you put up your hand in front of your face, you can still see behind it, you know? That's your perspective. You can see past your hand because you're seeing in 3D. Whereas if you're seeing in 2D, you can't see that. You can only see the front of your hand. So it's the same thing with this. It's like you can
I'm really
see,
surprised.
eh?
I am really surprised
You're really
because
surprised?
cause look at the like the third version of what you searched.
Third
1, 2, and
version.
then
Oh, this one.
oh my word! I cannot even draw this type of. I cannot draw even the simplest house.
Oh, but good, good,
And
good.
you see this guy making beautiful buildings. I'm like, what in the world?
But thanks for pointing it out, Cooper, because can you see now that you can see beyond this building here? See how there's the sky, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you can see further behind the sky. You see that? You can see this building here and that thing there and other building there.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. So your perspective is your 3D, but if you were 2D, you could probably only see this top here, and that's it. See? You
Oh.
wouldn't see this. That's why it's hard for us to like understand 4 dimensions or 4D because we're mostly 3D characters. We only deal with 3 axes, X, Y, Z. We don't know about the fourth dimension. Well, if you want to be technical, the fourth dimension is time, but I'm not here to teach you science. I'm just here to teach you coding. All right. So let's stick to 3D. Okay. So perspective, right? So on the div tag called transform, the original parent of image, let's go transform. I believe it's style. Okay. And you want to use the property called preserve dash 3D. Okay. And then the last one you need is something called perspective, right? Perspective. Now let's start with 100 pixels, shall we? See? Do you see what I was trying to tell you? Like if you
Oh my
use
God.
if you use perspective, it changes, right? So the lower the value, the skewed, but let's make the image a bit bigger, shall we? See? The perspective changes. You see that?
I do not like that.
You don't, but it's the perspective. It's 3D. Now, we did X. Remember we did rotate X, but what about rotate Y? You see?
Oh.
Yes. It went from
Oh.
yes. It went from being flat, like completely 2D to 3D. So if we turn this off, it's flat, it's 2D. But if we turn rotate Y, it looks like it's in space. You see that?
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
that's cool.
What's rotate Z? Rotate Z, nothing fancy. Obviously, it just does whatever it does. But normally X and Y, okay? So X and Y do the job. You can actually chain them if you want. You can rotate Y as well, and then you can do something like this. You see? Instead of like doing it once at a time. That's when, if you know,
Oh.
yes. So
Being amazed.
thank you, Cooper. This is why I'm here to teach you these tricks. So instead of doing it like this, if you're not comfortable doing it like this, I tend to do it like this because it makes sense to me. You can then use rotate, so transform, and then you go rotate 3D. You see that? Okay. You can actually do it like this if you
Oh,
want. Yes. You see?
I'm just sitting here being amazed.
Ah, thank you, Cooper. Thank you so much. You see? You can do it like that where you can manipulate this, which I think then gets multiplied with this. But yeah, this one can be a bit too advanced. So I'll say for this lesson, stick to this one where you start with 1. Okay. You can even change the degree here. You can go 180. See what that looks like. Oh, see, there you go.
Oh,
Oh, cool. Wow, wow. Did you like that?
a lot.
Yeah. So now that we know if we rotate certain angles, this is what Brother Philip looks like. Let's copy this, shall we? So let's copy this. And we go copy. Now, on our hovering here, on the hover, we want to then paste it. So we just go right click and then paste. What do we do with the original? So here we'll come back. We can paste it here as well, but we'll reset it to 0. So 0 degrees. So 0 and 0. Okay. So originally, this is what Brother Philip looks like without anything. What if we hover over his image? You see?
I knew I was going to be amazed.
I see that. Look at that.
Oh,
But
yeah,
remember,
that's nice.
though, we messed up because we didn't copy the transform style, preserve 3D, and the perspective of 300 pixels. Because if you don't have this, it's going to look flat. But if you have that, it's going to look like this. You see?
Oh,
Yeah. So we need to copy this as well for our transform. So I'll go right click copy and we're going to paste it down here. Okay. There we go. Cool. So now we've learned scaling and we've learned rotate. Now let's put it all together. Okay. So now that you know the trick, it should make sense. Okay. Now that you know you can chain, you can put all these together. We can then take scale and put it here. So we go scale 1. Okay. And let's go scale 1.5. Let's see what that looks like. See? Meow. There you go.
ah,
Yeah. And if you want to make it snazzy as well, remember we did filters, right? So we went filter and then grayscale. Okay. So we can do that. We're going back to filters now, just to build upon our knowledge. Let's go grayscale 1. So when we hover over the image, we want to go filter, grayscale, 0. We reset it. Okay. So you can do this. Wee.
ah,
Wee.
ah,
Easy.
ah.
Yeah. So effectively, we've applied CSS transformation. So what have we transformed? We changed the size of the image. Okay. We also changed the way it looks in 3D space. So the image starts as 2D, but now it is 3D because we've got this perspective that's happening. See that? So it's offset on its axle. Yep. And all the goodies.
I have an idea.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking here when I was looking at going wee and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Then I thought, what if we made the picture spin like a ballerina?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's which way do you want it to go? Like, to make it simpler, do you want it to rotate sideways or top to bottom? Which way?
Sideways. Like
Sideways.
it just continues. Wee.
Okay. So what we'll do, let me confirm that. Let's see which one we want. Now we're going back to animations. Okay, the ones that Brother Philip taught you before. Okay, so this is the X, right? The X axis. It's bottom here. The Y would be the top one. Okay. So we go here. There you go. So, okay. Got ya. So what we need is the Y axis. So let me go image. Actually, let me have 2 images. One where you can hover, and then the other one where you can sorry, I'm using one hand, so I'm gonna copy that and then paste. Hey, look at that. We learned something very, very nice. Now I'll change this to nth child 1 so we can only affect the first image. And I'll do the same here. Nth child 1. I don't know if I've taught you guys this, but I hope I have. If I haven't, please let me know. Where we do this thing
You
where
didn't.
I didn't? Okay, sorry. So I'll have to teach you guys this trick here where you can target a specific child element in a list. So you might have like 10 images, but you want to affect image number 3. So you use like this function here called nth child. Okay. So in this instance, what's going to happen is, yeah, as you guessed it, everything is going to be affecting just the first child. See that? Which looks funny now. But it's not applying to the second image. Right. So the second image, we'll just go nth child 2. Okay. We pretty much copied most of it like that. Yeah, so it's the same size. We don't want anything to be different. Okay, so one can be doing this, the other can be spinning, like Cooper said. So Cooper, we already know that rotate Y is the one that's going to spin. Okay, so let's go transform. Okay, and rotate Y. Okay, and let's start from 0 degrees. Okay, now let's give it an animation. Let's go animation. So we start with the name. The name is ballerina, right? Ballerina. The next one is how long you want the animation to run for. 1 second. Okay, remember animation and animation and transition kind of go hand in hand in using time. Okay. The next one is if you wanted to run once, we'll do it once and then we'll do it infinitely after that. And then if you wanted to run once, you go forwards. Okay. So name of the animation, how long the animation has to go for. This is if you wanted to run once, and this is if you wanted to run once as well. So I'll put a comment and go ballerina is the name of the animation. Okay. And then 1 second is the duration, i.e., how long the animation runs for. Okay. And then, sorry. Oh. 1 is run once. Okay. And then forwards is go from 0 to 100. That's it. Okay. So that's what that means. I'll leave that in there if you want to revise and do stuff. Now, we have another property to invoke our animation, and that's called at keyframes. Okay. So at keyframes, so obviously the name of our animation is what we called the identifier. Okay. So this one will then be ballerina. Okay. And as usual, we go from 0% to 100%. Now, there's two ways. I'll quickly show you. I remember Brother Philip taught you how to do it as from to. Okay. This is absolutely fine. There's no issue with this one. Okay. You can actually do this. I have no problem. Normally, I tend to go 0% to 100%. So I know in my head, okay, this is what's happening. Okay. So you can do it like that. You can choose to do it as from, which is the same as 0. Okay. To, which is the same as 100. Okay. You can do this as well. No problem whatsoever. Okay. So it's up to you. The choice is yours. All right. So we start with rotate Y. Okay. As usual here. And let's do a full revolution. So 360 degrees. Okay. 360 degrees. Okay. There. You see? So it went by
Oh,
quickly. Let's refresh. You see, it went by quickly. Why? Because we didn't put a transition right there. So let's put a actually no, you don't need transition. You just increase the duration here to 3 seconds. Okay. There you go. You see? But it's only running once. We don't want that. Now, I'll comment out this line. I'll copy it. Okay. And then oh sorry, I'll comment this out. And then I'll say infinite. Okay. So you guys know what's happening. See? Gilbert.
oh,
Look what you've done, Gilbert.
ah,
Easy. So you can do something like this. It's literally the image was 2D, but now it's 3D. It's behaving like it's in 3D. You see?
oh my word.
Yeah. So think about it. What if we put rotate X here and let's put 0 degrees and let's apply this to this, shall we? And see what happens. I just want to have a look. I don't know what it looks like, but let's just try it.
Ah,
You see?
aha.
So it looks like that. You see? Okay.
Ah, let's keep this one on.
You want that effect?
Yep.
All right.
Can
So
you for like seconds?
for how many seconds?
10 seconds.
You want 10 seconds? Okay.
Yes.
Rotate X. So I'll put it back. Sorry, I deleted it. So I'll copy this one. So maybe since you guys are not comfortable with JavaScript games, we may do something like this in the meantime, doing fancy animations. But as Cooper said, let's put 10 seconds. Okay. It's going to take a long time to spin. See? Wait. Sorry. 360. Sorry, I forgot the math. Yeah, there you
So, imagine if he was actually talking.
go.
Imagine if the picture was actually talking and
Ah,
then that's spinning. Oh my god, that would be so cool.
no. Don't forget I taught you how to do audio. Although there's no video tutorial on that. I'll have to
Oh.
re-record it. There's an audio tutorial I taught you, audio and video. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yes. All right. Now, what if we do this, Cooper? What if we start with opacity 0? Now, do you remember what opacity is?
Kind of.
So, opacity just means can you see the image or you can't see the image? Okay.
Mm.
So, opacity 0 means it's transparent. Okay, so it's transparent. Sorry. And then opacity 1. Now, watch what happens. You see? It
Ooh.
slowly comes in and then it will fade again.
Yeah, that's nice.
Aha. But what if we wanted to reverse? We go animation direction now. We go alternate reverse. Okay. Watch what happens. So it will go backwards. You see?
Oh,
You see?
that's cool.
It will go backwards and keep doing it. It's almost like it's going back and forth. Okay. See that?
Yeah, that's cool.
But let's make it 5 seconds and then the opacity, let's make it half. So at least we can see where it starts. You see? There you go. See that?
Oh, dang.
Yeah. You like that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Audrey, do you like this or is it too confusing?
But I like it.
Leon, how much do you like this? Is it too confusing?
That's nice.
It's nice. Okay. Now we forgot one thing. We learned how to do scaling. Okay. Now, if we do scale one, okay. So remember this. If whenever you change this, whenever you change transform here, always remember to change it in your animation because if you don't, nothing's gonna happen. All right. So let's go scale one, and let's go scale 1.5. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. See that? So it kind of goes big, then it gets small,
Oh.
and now it gets big again. See that? And all the while, you can still hover here. You can still hover here and do this. See?
Ooh.
You see that? You can still do that.
Yeah, that would be nice. If I was making a website, I would definitely add that.
You have to. But I didn't tell you one thing. So you can actually, with scale, you can start from 0, as in you can start very tiny. So let's start from 0.25. Okay. So it's very small. Okay. It's going to go from being really big to being really small. See? You can do that.
It's gonna be teeny.
Teeny tiny to being, big as well. See that?
Oh
See?
my word.
There you go. So
Like, can it like 0? Like, oh, you can't even see it, and then like there's nothing there, and then it starts in, and then this picture starts forming.
yeah. So from 0 to 1, definitely. So let's go like that. So this is it going backwards. Okay. So 0, nothing. And then you see?
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
You see? So there you go. There you go.
I like.
So at least I taught you guys something worthwhile. But yeah, I'll litter this with comments to make to tell you what's happening and what's happening. But yeah, this is 3D transformations in a nutshell. See? I'll show you something I worked on a while ago. Um it's a very old web page, but it's something that might fascinate you, might inspire you. There's one of the websites they use at work, but it'll get updated.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll show you
you
something.
made it up?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God, that's a job well done.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Like, I mean, yeah, that's nice.
So you see this yellow? Watch the yellow lines. You see how they're moving whenever I scroll. See that?
Oh, dang.
You see?
Yeah,
The
that's nice.
So if you inspect this part, I don't know if I can. I'll quickly show you what's happening. So I'm literally applying CSS transformation. See? Translate 3D. See that? See what's happening?
Oh,
Yeah. So you
they're
can't
moving
you can
left to right.
yeah, you can do something like that. I'm happy to teach you guys how to do that. See this? This is fun.
That's nice.
Yeah, see that? Like there's little
Oh,
yellow lines.
It is very nice.
very impressive.
Yeah. So no, I appreciate the compliments, but this is where you can go with CSS transformations. You can do something like this where you can animate things on scrolling. So when you scroll, the line does this. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. See that? So the line's like,
Interesting.
wee. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, hope that's giving you inspiration to go and explore what to do with CSS transformations. But yeah, that concludes today's lesson. Maybe tomorrow, I'll revisit this, get some feedback to see if you guys are understanding. If you're not, where you're struggling. But yeah, this is pretty much it for today. So, any questions, any feedback, or did you guys enjoy this lesson?
Yeah, that's nice.
Enjoyed it so much.
Thank you, thank you. I don't know. Seth is probably waiting for me to play funk. But I don't know any funk artist except Code Cheese or Cheese. I can't remember his name. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. I'll paste the code in Slack. And then yeah, you guys can go to town with it. All right. So feel free to destroy this. Do it again. You might be asking me why didn't I do a style.css? You can write CSS in your HTML like this inside a style tag, by the way. And you can also do your JavaScript like this. So you can have a script tag here and then just go console.log. It's the same thing. Okay. Console.log. There we go. Seth is awesome. Right. You can do like this as well. It's not illegal. But the reason we put them into files is if you're going to build a legit website, you need to separate your files for consistency. Okay. So we don't need this one today, but you can do it like this as well. So you don't have to go between files. All right. So that's it from me. I'll give it back to Brother Philip. And then, yes, hopefully we can meet again tomorrow. All right.
Bella.
Thank you. I don't know if he's there. He's probably not.
So are we allowed to go?
Yes, you can go have dinner now. Or supper, sorry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, you can go for supper. That's okay.
I am craving KFC chicken.
KFC, nice.
Yeah.
Like KFC. I don't
Why
know.
do you name yourself lettuce and cabbage?
Yeah, Kubo was saying earlier today. She was saying something about she didn't know the difference between lettuce and
I
cabbage.
you know what lettuce looks like. I still don't know what cabbage looks like. No, what lettuce looks like. I still don't know to Google it.
A lettuce. Okay, let's see. Wait, I forgot to stop. Ah, yes, there is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, see, there you go, Kubo.